Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to the Yank and Kiwi podcast. Available everywhere on the net.
And we are live with the Yank and Kiwi podcast. I'm pretty sure this is episode 18, but I'm having a hard time keeping track of how many episodes we're in. I've done so many already, but what does it matter? How you guys? I'm doing great. And as always, I'm your host, Brett, the handsome and charismatic one, and someone I've wanted to get on this podcast for a long time. I hung out with her out in Portland in January. Had a great time with her and her boyfriend's band. Say hi to Stacy, guys.
What up, y'all?
Yep. Stacy, tell the good people listening what Portland's like.
Oh, geez, where do I even begin? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of truths. So, Portland is a very liberal place and becoming more progressively so. Due to the fact a lot of people from California are swiftly moving here. Low rent, used to be. I don't know. I grew up here, so I don't know exactly. It's, there's lots of really cool shit here, but I'm a little played out on it. It's cold. It rains. There's a lot of homeless people, a lot of junkies, heroin addicts.
Portland or Seattle?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Portland is pretty much mini Seattle, with less cool shit to do.
Yeah. And unlike Seattle, Portland did not have a cool music scene at one point or has a thriving tech scene.
Yeah, we're kind of catching up, but not really. Portland doesn't know how to treat their musicians out here. They really don't.
Yeah, Butter can attest to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of us can. It used to be really fun. Like 15 years ago, there was pretty much a scene for everything, and now it seems like if you're not into like folk music or being just, hipster rock or metal, then you have no real good chance of doing anything here.
Really? You think the punks would at least have a bit of a fighting chance?
I mean, there's still kind of a scene, but it's pretty dispersed everywhere. It's not really like a big collective like it used to be.
Yeah, well,
there still is a punk scene, but it's not as recognized as it was like in the 90s.
I don't know. I think part of that can sort of be attributed to the internet, because that internet pretty much decentralized everything. Now you don't really need to be in a scene to make it big.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays you can just make it big on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know. YouTube's kind of dying off now, too.
Yeah, that's right. I'm stupid, because YouTube's cracking down on people left and right unless they got corporate money behind them.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely still a good tool to use for promotional things, but as for like making revenue or living off of it, it's very, very impossible unless you're already established.
Yeah, pretty much. Although the thing about, when I come back to like what you said about there being cheap rent in Portland, because I've been hearing that everyone's been leaving Portland, actually been leaving the whole Pacific Northwest to head out to Philadelphia and the Southwest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on that train next to myself. It's pretty ridiculous here now, but most of the problem is a lot of investors that have cash are coming up here. They're selling off their properties in California for a lot of money, just for little shit plots of land. Like you can have like a little porta potty on a piece of land, sell it for like $800,000. And then move up here and buy, 2 houses, well, maybe like 1 and some decent property now, in a nicer neighborhood. And then, you got it made. Like you have enough money to pay off your property taxes for quite a while. And yeah, just kind of do whatever you want. Yeah, it's definitely made it really difficult for people that are like first time home buyers trying to get loans and things like that, actually wanting to purchase a house, and then having these people come in with their cash and being like, yeah, no, I outbid all of you. So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, California.
Yeah, it's not just them too. Like, actually, you'll like this. I've met a lot of people from Michigan coming out here too.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I almost feel like I helped contribute to this somewhat, and I'm like dirt poor, man.
Thanks, you fucking asshole.
Actually, speaking of California, you hear that now they are not making it a felony to tell your partner if you're HIV positive?
I just saw that. Yeah, that's pretty concerning, man. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. That's like, fuck.
I'm sorry, but if you're HIV positive, I think you kind of have a moral obligation to tell your partner that you're positive.
I mean, I can see, okay, not that I agree, but I can see both sides, just because getting HIV treatment so that it's not like a death sentence anymore is a lot easier now. So it's like, you're not necessarily like killing someone by doing that, but at the same time, it's like, well, you don't know. And it's still really expensive. And it's still a really fucked up, shitty thing to do to someone. Yeah. Like, even giving someone herpes and not telling them is fucked up and shitty.
Yeah. Like, can you see why it said if you're positive, you kind of have a moral obligation to tell your partner?
Yeah. And most people that I've talked to that are positive, they do make it very clear on a lot of their dating profiles or just in person when they're meeting up with someone, their status. So I don't know. I think most people aren't that shitty, but there are some people that do that, and thanks to the internet, it's created this kind of community for stealthers. I don't know if you know what that is.
That sounds interesting.
To meet up. So stealthers or gift givers are people that like to, basically they'll be a positive status, or they might be, they don't know, anything like that, and they'll stealthily remove a condom during intercourse, or pretend not to wear one, or pretend they're wearing one, kind of thing. But there is a community of like bug chasers, people that kind of fetishize getting infected. It's almost like a vampiric kind of thing, like, oh, we can share everything. It's creepy and it's gross.
I mean, like, dude, of all the fucking things scat fetishes and piss fetishes, I mean, like, those are gross enough, but I mean, like, you knowingly want to get yourself infected with HIV, you are all kinds of sick.
Yeah, I feel like most of it is just talk, but I know that there are people out there that do like take the condom off during intercourse, and so I've had a few friends that have had that happen to them. It's fucked up.
And of course, if you're HIV and knowingly infect another person with it, you are a shitty person for doing it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Actually, I think I remember coming across a video where Jim Norton was on the Joe Rogan show, and he talked about how there was a time in his life where he thought he was HIV positive.
Okay, so you think you might be. Okay, go to the clinic.
Yeah, well, that's...
I mean, dude, even in like a broke-ass neighborhood like me, we got free clinics that you can go get fucking tested.
Yeah, well,
this
was like years ago, though. I mean, like, I think that was like around when it became public knowledge that Charlie Sheen was positive, but...
his little freak-out tiger blood bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened was that Jim goes to, I think he said he went to a Walgreens or a CVS, you know what I'm talking about, basically, and he bought, like, one of their generic brand HIV tests, and he said, like, one of the things they told him is, don't watch it. Don't watch for the results. Well, it's... because it'll freak you, the weight will freak you out. Like, he basically had to wait for a week, because he said if there's one stripe, you're clean. If there's two, you're not. And why you don't want to watch is because even if you're not positive, you might see a little bit of the second stripe starting to form.
CVS AIDS test kind of like sounds like it'd be like a dollar store pregnancy test. Like how reliable is it?
Not
Like,
at
yeah. Oh man. Story time. When I was working at the porn store up here in North Portland, there was one of my coworkers who he was doing his hardest to get by and everything, and he was dating this chick who was hoeing out on Backpage or whatever the fuck that's called. Basically like Craigslist, but you can put up escort kind of ads on there and stuff.
Wait, he was hoeing out his girlfriend?
No. She was doing it without his knowledge.
Oh.
And he found her page on there, her ad, and he started breaking down to me and freaking out about it. And I was like, well, I mean, did she tell you? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, that's not cool. I mean, if that's what she wanted to do and she told you that, if you got a problem with it, I mean, you don't have to deal with that, but don't be upset with her. That's her choice. But like, yeah, she didn't tell him. And there was a lot of lingo on there, code and stuff. And I had to break it down for him, and he just got more upset. And I was like, okay, dude. Next day he comes in and he's like, we worked it out. Everything's cool. I'm like, oh, I'm glad to hear that. And then he gets a phone call at the end of his shift, and he starts freaking out. And he's like, oh my God, she might be pregnant. And I think it's mine, all this stuff. And he's pulling out change out of his pocket. He's like, man, I gotta go to the dollar store for a pregnancy test. I'm like, what? Dollar store pregnancy test, dude. Dude, it was so bad. It was just all bad. I'm like, nah, dude, no. Like, I gave him like $8. I was like, go get a better one. Like, no. I'm not gonna send you to the dollar store to get a fucking pregnancy test. That's shitty.
Stacy's a good friend, isn't she, guys?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you exactly what your girlfriend's doing as a hooker on Backpage or whatever, and then, give you money for a pregnancy test. Or a CVS AIDS test, I guess. Shit.
Yeah, I actually had one of my coworkers won't reveal her name for kind of the same reason Stacy won't, because as we respect people's rights to privacy, but because she and I are both working at Walmart, and of course you can imagine that people who work at Walmart are dirt poor.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, well, she said, yeah, fuck, I need more cash, so So apparently she found this service where you can sort of get like a sugar daddy or something.
Oh yeah, dude, there's tons of those. One of the best sites was ran by the same guy that owned Ashley Madison.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all I told her was she showed me one day like how much she made off, like $1,900. Looks like off of 1 week, I think, or something. I'm like, personally, I'm not really all for it, but I said like, hey, as long as you're being careful, go do what you want.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and as far as I can tell, she's just basically having to just hang out with people or something. Nothing too X-rated.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that were sugar babies, and they didn't have sex with their clients. They just hung out. They got a bunch of free shit. The dudes would take them shopping, take them out to lunch and dinner and stuff, and just basically wanted to hang out and have good company. So you have to have a good personality, I feel like, though.
Yeah.
Or just be like really fucking hot, like to the point where it's like you can't even form words around that person.
Yeah, she's kind of somewhere in the middle looks wise, but she's a really nice person.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I feel like you could look like me as long as you have a good personality. You're good.
I guess. Oh, what, you think you don't have a good personality, Stacy?
I don't know. Next topic.
Oh yeah. I've got something funny I wanted to tell Stacy about that. It involves my aunt, Chick-Fil-A, and a person who is kind of a borderline SJW that's in my friends list.
Ooh, fun.
Oh yeah, total fun. Now,
Like chicken's awesome. Don't know your aunt. Yeah, SJWs. Most of them are pretty crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just. So I think it was like Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday. I'm out running some errands, and I'm on I-5. I come across an exit towards a Chick-Fil-A in the area, and I say, you know what? I've had a pretty good day. How about I get some chicken? Why not? So I get
get some fucking chicken, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how you always end a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And I hadn't been to that Chick-Fil-A in over 2 years, so I grabbed the pic and put it out on Facebook, saying I haven't been here in 2 years, still as good as I remember.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
I've never been to Chick-Fil-A.
And where it gets in, now, previously I had put out a stats on Facebook where I sort of ranked chicken places that I was familiar with. I put Chick-fil-A at number 1, followed by Popeyes, followed by KFC.
Oh shit, that Christian chicken better than Popeyes? Nuh-uh.
Really? You don't?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, that's hard to believe. I like spicy chicken, though. I can't eat chicken anymore, but I like spicy chicken.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, go on.
But yeah, so that friend and person on my friends list puts out, and let me see if I can get the tone correct. I will never eat at Chick-fil-A's because their policies towards LGBT rights is suspect. And then prints me something from, I forget if it was Snopes or PolitiFact or whatever one of those stupid sites are. I don't know. Do you know? I don't even really care about that shit, man. To be honest.
Fake news.
Chicken. I'll say that. Let me say this about Chick-fil-A. I'm just gonna say this, guys. You can't taste homophobia.
And
yes, I
don't know.
I stole that line from Clerks too. It's a scene where Randall being Randall goes and blurts out, "We're being worked like porch monkeys."
Oh yeah. You can't taste racism.
Yup.
Fuck, yeah.
That scene makes me laugh every time I watch it, but yeah. So Wednesday I put out my pick, and of course the friend says, "I will never eat there due to their negative stance on LGBT issues."
Okay.
I shrug it off and say, I don't care. My mom, of course, my mom says, "I love what they stand for. Their food and the recognition that no sexual preference or position helps heal the hole in people's hearts. Only God can do that." I come from a religious family. My dad's a pastor. I would describe my parents as they're evangelical, but they're not militant.
Whoa. That's like a crazy can of worms, dude. I had no idea.
They're not. Let me put it this way: they're not gonna. They won't shove it down your throat, but they'll be frank where they stand.
Yeah, okay. Everybody has that right to be like, hey, I believe something, whether or not you like, believe it back, or, you don't have to be an asshole about it, basically.
That's more or less my family. They are cool about their religion, and they don't. My dad will preach the gospel as he is a pastor, and that's his thing, but he's not gonna. He won't cram it down people's throats. He's not fire and brimstone.
No, thank God. Like, not Jim Baker selling his apocalypse buckets.
Okay, so I thought at first the sparks were gonna fly between my SJW friend and my mom. I was laying in bed, just talking to Sam about saying like how this is gonna happen. I just know it, because my friend is like belligerent with how liberal she is. Like, let me just say, just don't argue with her. Do not pull that trigger.
I consider myself pretty liberal on a lot of things, but like I've learned just not to argue with other liberals. It's just
Well,
Yeah.
just for context, she's from Illinois.
I don't know much about all that, so.
Well, let's just say the closer you get to Chicago, the more liberal it gets.
Well, I mean, yeah, makes sense. Like, larger cities tend to be more liberal.
Yep. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm expecting there to be like some kind of argument between my mom and my SJW friend. Now the thing is, like, my mom, she'll be the civil one. I know that much for sure. My mom's not antagonistic, usually.
Was your friend like an atheist or something?
She describes herself as agnostic, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like I said, she's belligerent with her liberalism is all.
Okay.
Now the one who ends up pulling the trigger is my aunt. My aunt replies, so you must also feel God has a negative stance against LGBT issues. Yes, he does, against sin. I applaud Chick-Fil-A.
What?
You must also feel God has a negative stance against LGBT issues. Yes, he does, against sin. I applaud Chick-fil-A. That's what my aunt put. My aunt was the one who pulled the trigger.
Oh, shots fired, man.
And my friend says, no, I think God, in quotations, is more open-minded than you think. I don't know what beliefs you subscribe to where LGBT is a sin, but I think you have it wrong. And
it's called Christianity. Abrahamic religion generally dislikes homosexuality. Yeah. I know. I feel like I know a little bit about it. Just, my parents are gay, but one of my moms, she raised us all Catholic, and so there's a lot of fucking guilt, just all around. Just lots of guilt and drinking. And
just be thankful you weren't raised Mormon.
Oh fuck, dude. I don't know what I would do with like any more than two moms, dude. I'd probably freak out a little bit. That's too many. I lose track. I mean, I already forget Mother's Day. I'd be so fucked, dude. Like, you know, I had a hard time in school when I was like, can I make 2 Mother's Day cards? They're like, why do you need to make 2? I'm like, just don't ask questions. Imagine being like, can I make 8 Mother's Day cards, please?
You sent you to Catholic school as a kid?
No, thank God.
That would have been like going to prison.
Yeah, no. Actually, one of my moms, she went to Catholic school growing up, and the nuns like beat the shit out of her and locked her in closets and all sorts of heinous bullshit. So she was like, no, I will spare you the fucking torture.
Also, if you guys really want to have a good laugh, Stacy's Middle Eastern.
Oh yeah. There's just so much shame in like on my behalf. It's so great. That's probably why I'm so shameless.
I think one of the things that came out of that whole episode that I laughed at the most was that several of my friends also liked it, and one of them, she's a Norse witch.
Wait.
One of my friends that liked my Chick-fil-A pick is a Norse witch.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Like, it's just chicken, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, did Chick-fil-A ever come out and be like, we don't like homosexuals, and if you buy our chicken, we're gonna exterminate all the gays with all the revenue?
That's not exactly what happened. It's more that the CEO is a conservative Christian and runs his business accordingly. Although I'm pretty sure he won't. I'm pretty sure he won't. Okay, I'm pretty sure Chick-fil-A can't discriminate against gays.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I've known a few gay people that have gone and eaten their chicken, and they were like, this is delicious chicken.
Yeah, but the thing...
Eat my AIDS, bitch.
But... Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure there are gay people that are gainfully employed within Chick-fil-A. It's just that there are certain people that don't like that the owners are so open about their stances on LGBT issues or whatevs.
Well, I mean, I could understand if they were like spending a bunch of their profits on like conversion therapies and stuff like that has no benefit to anything or anyone and is harmful. But like, if they're just like, yeah, we're Christian and therefore, we don't agree with the lifestyle of homosexual people, take it or leave it. You can buy our chicken or not. That's one thing. I don't know. Shaming someone for wanting to eat at a restaurant, like just because their food is good, what the fuck, dude?
You wanna know how batty it's got on a couple occasions? The mayor of Boston and Chicago, they actually tried to ban Chick-Fil-A from opening stores in their cities.
Mm.
Which, last I checked, they legally can't do that. You can't bar a business.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, I can see if they're like the residents of those places were like, you know what? We're just not going to create a demand for it, so there's no need to open it. That's one thing. That's like a civil protest in a way. Boycotting.
Your fucking wallet. You don't like Chick-fil-A's politics. You don't have to eat there. No one's forcing you to.
I don't know. I just don't I don't understand the point of like someone's like, hey, I like chicken, and someone's like, oh, they don't like gay people. And then, okay, so are you trying to inform them? Or are you just stating something, or just are you trying to hear more?
Trying to virtue signal. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, because it's just like if someone were like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but, hey, I'm a queer person and this person's taking a stance against this, or like, oh, they shovel funds into harming people like me. Something like that, trying to be informative and just being like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but this. I think that's one thing to start a discussion, but just being like, I will never do this. It's what's the fucking point? People are going to do what they're going to do anyway. Like, they're going to go eat chicken.
Yeah. You can't... Yeah, and like...
You can't stop a bunch of slobbery morons from standing in line at McDonald's for fucking meme sauce, for God's sake. Like...
Oh, thank you, Rick and Morty.
Yeah. I don't know.
Actually, what amazes me is that Washington is one of the most liberal states in the country, at least, especially on the west side of the state. And I've managed to find 2 Chick-fil-A's in Tacoma.
That's interesting. There's a bunch in Vancouver, I think. I saw like at least 2 in a very short range from each other.
Wait,
maybe they were just like, this is the only area you can open them up. I don't know.
You mean Washington, not BC, right?
Yeah, Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know that, there's a Vancouver in Washington, so that's why I had to be specific.
It is the superior Vancouver. Not really.
Yeah, I don't know.
We call it Vantucky, so that's got to tell you something.
Yeah. Oh man, and this was like what, before or after your depressing trip to Olympia?
I mean, this is way before that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Olympia. Oh my God, that fucking place.
But yeah, Stacy's boyfriend's band and Unusual Subjects actually recently played in Olympia. Like, how long ago was it? Like, was it during the summer? I forget.
It was. Fuck. When did we go up to Olympia? June. Yeah, so it was like beginning of summer.
Yeah.
It was still pretty fucking rainy though.
I would have gone if I could have gotten the time off. But yeah, I remember you talking about like how depressing it was. Like you found like a couple junkies right out by a dumpster or something.
No, they were like everywhere, dude. Like, okay, so we were in the downtown area. The venue was really interesting. It was like a restaurant, but they had this little back area that was just like, it was really nostalgic for me because it reminded me of like these little shit dive places that punk bands would just kind of crowd into, and just, us as kids would get fucking down and skank and fucking headbang, all that shit. And then like, you'd roll out, smoke weed, all that. But like, it was just this tiny little room. in the back of this restaurant. It was really cool, but like the rest of the town around there was like really depressing. It just felt like this weird vortex of energy just kind of sucking you in. And it really reminded me of like the worst parts of downtown Portland mixed with like those little tourist coastal towns. Like, I don't know how far out you've been on the coasts here, but like Seaside or Oceanside, they're just like little tourist trap towns.
Like Tacoma. That's basically
Tacoma. I mean, they really, no, Tacoma is huge compared to a lot of these, but I mean, they have like a population of like 500 people max.
Okay, well, then,
you know,
I mean, okay, well, it's just more of a mental picture for me to build off of, but yeah, it's sort of.
Yeah, it's basically like locals at the bar getting drunk and then junkies on the street. And really cool street art.
Smaller scale, basically. Yeah.
A much smaller scale. So I'm drinking beer, so I'm going to be burping a lot.
Dub. Yes, but actually, well, if we can get on a lighter note, hey, bud, are you listening, bro?
Hold on. What am I listening for?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey,
we're sharing headphones.
Yeah,
Oh, hi.
what's up, butter? Want to tell you guys
Yo.
that, hey, around November 4th, with one of my favorite bands, Demon Hunter, is going to be playing at the Hawthorne. I think tickets are going for like $10 at that show.
Okay.
They're a cool band.
Demon Hunter, never heard of them. What do they do? Metal,
Yes.
I'm assuming?
Yes.
It's not going to be a classical band, so.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like you're staying in town.
Yep. November
When was this?
4th.
November?
November 4th at the
4th.
Hawthorne.
Okay. Well, then we should get together then, shouldn't we?
If I can get the time off, maybe.
You should.
Yeah, I'll see if I. Yeah, I think I'll actually. You know what? My buddy Shane and I were thinking about going. I might bring him with me.
There you go.
Yep.
Good idea.
Yeah, I will try to see you there, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely.
All right.
I'm taking headphones back. November 4th, I think I'm going to go out. Me and my friend Oliver are supposed to go out to the woods and do some mushrooms or something.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's like perfect time of year to go do shit like that. Find them. And there's like a big festival up where I used to live and shit. So.
Yeah, speaking of doing shit, I actually kind of have this secret desire to want maybe like go on a peyote trip one time.
Peyote is intense.
The only problem is the only place you can get peyote is down in Texas, which would require me driving my van all the way down to Texas just to steal a cactus and cultivating the buttons.
Mm-hmm. How many native cats you know?
Wait, say,
I'm gonna take your silence as like none. I said, how many native cats you know, dude? Like
cats? Oh,
yeah.
Not many.
I was gonna say, like, I know quite a few, and yeah, they use it for sweat lodge and stuff. So it's not hard to come by if you get in the right circles up here.
Well, luckily there's quite a few reses up here, so I can probably find somebody.
Yeah. I suggest making friends first. Otherwise, you're gonna get rolled, dude.
I think I might actually. I think I might know a native girl who might know a guy.
I know a guy that knows a guy that went on this trip, man.
Although, I mean, like, the thing I've heard with magic mushrooms, though, I mean, like, there's, like, varying degrees of, like, good trips, but if you get a bad trip, it's a bad trip.
Well, I mean, it really just depends on, like, your state of mind and your set and setting. Like, you don't want to be doing any psychedelics when you've been in a shitty mood for a while, or, like, you don't want to be in, like, a new place or around new people that you don't really know too well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got to be able to, like, familiar territory. Like, there's ways to minimize you having a bad trip or even maximizing the chances of having a really awesome trip. So
yeah, but the thing is, like, I saw a video about a guy who was talking about one time when he had a bad trip on mushrooms, and he said, like, when you have a bad trip, it's like hitting the abyss.
Well, I mean, it's just all in your head. So, like, you're tripping yourself out. Like, there's things you can do, like change rooms, or like put on some music, or turn off the music, or change the song, or, you know, turn off the lights for a little bit, or there's just different things you can do. It's just basically like kind of snapping your attention to something else. Because once it's like it's in a fucking head loop, dude. Like once you start having those bad thoughts, it just kind of loops and progressively gets worse and worse. So you just got to snap yourself out of it, or have someone like guide you out of it, like snap you out of it. Just like, hey, let's go for a little walk, to the other room.
If you're going to do shrooms, don't do it while depressed.
Any psychedelic, I would say. Really, I don't know, like most of the hallucinogens I've done, I didn't really get a lot of visuals with them. It was mostly just head stuff. So yeah, you want to be in a pretty good headspace before you do anything like that. But I mean, you're up in Washington, dude. You guys have the ayahuasca church up there. If you want to do peyote, just fucking do ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta track it down first.
It shouldn't be hard to find. I mean, we all got the internet.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right about that. But yeah, anyways, the thing I wanted to bring Stacy in this was an interesting conversation we had over Facebook.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Now,
don't take anything I say at face value.
Yeah, what happened? Okay, so what the impetus for this was, Stacy was asking me help to get computer parts together for her kid.
Oh, yeah.
I ran him by my guy. He sent a list of recommendations, and then we talked about how STEM and trades are superior to liberal arts. And then you had an interesting thing to talk about, how our increasing technology, it could bring about the melding of man-machine and something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like the singularity of technology happening, and the prediction is it'll happen in roughly around 25-30 years. And that's from someone that I forget his name. I'll have to find that out. But he was talking about, he studies AI, and he's been like a leading developer in that field since basically its conception. He was saying like there's certain stages of progression that he is predicting will hit. And one of them is, nanotechnology, and how it already aids in some hospital settings for, like surgeries and.
Wait, they've gotten around to that already?
Yeah. I mean, dude, okay. Back in 2001, I found a newspaper article that Bill Clinton made a statement in, and it was in the Oregonian, and he was talking about nanotechnology and how OHSU, our health and sciences university up here, was going to be one of the leaders in developing nanotechnology and what some of the uses could be for, things like that. I mean, that was, like 16 years ago, man. Yeah. So, I mean, just think about this. Like, the home internet wasn't really a thing 30 years ago. And now we have it, like, just on little tiny tablet things.
Yeah, and actually,
you can go anywhere with.
I think at this point now you'd be hard-pressed to find a region that doesn't have internet access.
Yeah, but I mean, they have nanotechnology, but they're trying to figure out different uses for it. I mean, they can go into arteries, clear out cholesterol from arteries instead of having to do open heart surgeries and things, and, flush all the plaque out. They're developing technology so that for weight loss for people with extreme obesity, so that you would just swallow basically a pill. It goes in, it fixes ulcers in your stomach, things like that. And then it can also do something with the nerves in that area, just because your gut basically has its own nervous system almost. Okay, so I mean, it's all linked up to the same thing, but it has like a very distinct part of the nervous system that it operates off of. But going in there and kind of rewiring that nervous system to increased sensitivity to being full or creating sensations of being full, things like that. So you're not overeating. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things they're coming out with, but they're predicting in, what was it? I want to say by 2032 or something, that nanotechnology will be so ingrained in people, just in our systems, in our biology, repairing brain cells, everything, that we could pretty much be invincible.
So
like nanotechnology on a cellular level, repairing cells as they like deplete. So
we could pretty much hit cyberpunk.
Yeah, and also if you think about it, if your body is made out of all of these self-replicating nanobots too, is a thing. If we're made out of all these, we could potentially shapeshift into virtually any shape, as long as, you know, our organs can shift with it.
Yeah, that seems to be the messy part to get around.
Yeah, that's just fucking insane though. Like, I mean, if you can attach to a cell and change the shape of its cell, you can change the whole entire structure of a human being.
I mean, dude, like this shit, that sounds like a transhumanist shit. I mean, like...
Yeah, most definitely. We will be like a new breed of human. Like, that's where they're saying our evolution is heading, is becoming more machine.
I mean, that shit sounds cool, but at the same time really scary, because at the same time, you gotta wonder, is humanity messing with shit that it's not supposed to?
Yeah, right? It's kind of interesting to think about.
And then of course you also got to think about the possibility that tech like this will get abused. I mean, like...
Oh yeah, well, think about all of the cybersecurity breaches we have right now, like with Equifax, what just happened with them, and they're like a major company, and they have some of the best security tools. Mm-hmm. So for them to have been breached, and there's constantly breaches in all sorts of shit like that. Now, if you're integrated with technology, like say, you can upload your consciousness to a cloud, who's to say that there wouldn't be security breaches within that and people hacking your consciousness?
Yeah, shit, that's just like... And not even that,
that's like some Johnny Mnemonic shit, dude.
Not just that, you remember the first Ghost in the Shell movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remember that whole, like, there was that plot, that guy who had, like, false memories implanted into him that they arrested?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's definitely, we as humans, our brains already give us false memories. So if anything, you might be able to recall more of a true memory. But yeah, definitely hackers could implant false memories too. Ghost in the Shell was an amazing fucking example of AI and questioning what a human is and what humanity is and what consciousness is and things like that. It just trips me the fuck out. It's hard to watch. It's like, oh fuck, dude.
This could be us.
I'm not even high. This is too much.
Or what would a Blade Runner if they can invent androids that are virtually indistinguishable from humans?
Oh, we're gonna get there. We most definitely will get there. And the adult sex industry is going to be the ones to fund it.
They're already doing it. You've seen the stories about the sex bots?
Yeah.
Actually, I think one of them got hacked, too.
Yeah, they were saying that you could potentially hack sex robots to kill targets.
Jeez, who's surprised?
Well, what that comes down to is implanting good AI with I forget what the laws are called. The guy that
made laws of robotics.
Yeah, the 3 laws of robotics. I forget the guy that named that though. Yeah. So it comes down to something like that. But even with that, there's fallacies, especially with becoming self-aware.
Yeah, that was
because it's like you're gonna want to give them a self-preservation mechanism, but that could conflict like do not harm a human.
Yeah, that was kind of a thing that was common in Isaac Asimov's novels. Like, he would invent these systems that seem like they're airtight, like they're completely foolproof, and then he would show like how they can get broken.
Yeah. Well, especially because AI, when it's like becoming self-aware. When you're self-aware, you know, you're aware of yourself, you're aware of your limitations, your abilities, you know, you're becoming more smart. Like, yeah, they said, this video I was watching, this guy was making predictions that, by like the 2030s, that they're going to have AI technology that surpasses the capability of a human brain.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure everyone remembers, like, well, I think it was like last year or two. It was a couple. It was fairly recently. You remember that AI Tay on Twitter?
Was that the one that like people were talking to it and it was like gaining feedback and
it ended up going full 1488.
Yeah, it started to go all fucking Hitler and shit.
Which makes me
goddamn 4chan ruins everything. This is why we can't have nice things. Goddamn Kekistanis.
Although to be fair, I unironically believe that if 4chan actually tried, they could meme us into world peace.
You know, I think so too. Like, they've already influenced media stories to such great degrees that, you know, people believe it. So I feel like if they were like, oh, Trump and North Korea are both standing down, world peace, like someone would believe it. You know, one of the two sides would believe it.
Exactly. I mean, like, but the problem is, like, I posited this on a Facebook, not Facebook, on a YouTube vid a while back, and one of the responses I got back is the problem is most of the people on 4chan have such a high degree of autism and such a high IQ that it passes into antisocial behavior.
Yeah. They're like, bring on the nukes!
Yes.
Like, humanity's done. We're just done. Just fuck it.
You know what? If anyone from 4chan is listening, I'm issuing you a direct challenge. I bet you can't meme us into world peace. Why don't you just go, how about you just go fucking try? Fucking challenging you.
That'd be pretty rad, and I'm pretty sure that if you memed us into world peace, my boyfriend would let me show you my tits. So
hey,
there you go.
Guys,
see boobies.
Do it for a
Oh, he's saying no. He's like, fuck that. No.
Guys,
no amount of world peace is worth that. Sorry, person.
But yeah, another thing to tie into that, I also remember, like, there was another Isaac Asimov. It's a novel, but it's more a collection of his short stories. It's I, Robot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not the shitty Will Smith movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they made that shit movie.
Yeah, but the book, like, one of the stories in the book centers around a human scientist discovering that this AI that's built to run a city is doing such a good job that it's actually running literally everything.
No, I can imagine that. Yeah, that's really not hard to imagine. I mean, you take the equation out of like corrupt assholes fucking budgets over and stuff, and just let the self-contained system run itself.
Yeah, well,
perfection.
Here's the twist. When she discovers this, she actually thinks to herself, maybe I'll just leave this alone. I mean, everything's peaceful. People are happy.
Is this going to come back to all societies are doomed to crumble?
No, it just kind of, that's where it ends there. That particular short story, that's just where it ends. And it's left open-ended to make you ponder whether or not this is a good thing. I mean, like, on the one hand, yes, there's a pretty good argument. You got an AI that can, because it's purely runs on logic. It's not going to be beholden to the same weaknesses and that humans are, which is why we have so many corrupt assholes in politics. But at the same time, because it's logical, it's also going to create a world that's very cold and lacks humanity, and even if your life is very comfortable, you're probably not going to have much choice in it.
Yeah. I mean, extreme polarization of anything is going to create problems.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's kind of why that makes it genius, because because the system's just been set up so well, and because it ends on that open a note, you're kind of left to ponder whether or not you agree with it. And me being the quasi-libertarian guy I am, I don't. I like people having options. I believe humans should.
I like people having options, but I feel like giving people too many options makes them freak out. Like you can have a couple options, but like way too many options, like most people will freak out because they don't understand how to deal with true freedom and true freedom of thought and choice, because all of us have been conditioned for many generations not to have that. I mean, in any sort of government structure we've had, there's always been issues with what your capabilities are and what your limits are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. Although another thing with this whole singularity stuff, I have to wonder about. I mean, that's all. One thing I've been joking around with my friends and centers around VR.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who Scott Adams is, right? He's the guy who made Gilbert.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he made a joke that the what was it? That hologram room from Star Trek. Holodeck, that was it. The holodeck.
Yeah, the holodeck.
Yeah. He said the holodeck will be the last invention humanity ever makes.
Nah.
Well,
I think if you can upload a consciousness to a cloud, you can also implant basically give people's retinas virtual reality capabilities, and then people can just live in this giant virtual reality simulation.
Yeah, like
everything, like your own mind will be a holodeck.
Yeah, and think about it. If you can live in a virtual reality where you can have literally anything you want,
people would go crazy. People would go crazy, though. It's like that Twilight Zone where the guy, he dies and he goes to heaven, and they send him to like a casino and give him a penthouse, and he's got all the broads and all the booze and all the money. He just keeps winning and winning and winning every single time, and he's like, yeah, this is fucking great. And then not even a week goes by and he's like, oh my God, I'm so fucking bored. Like, I have literally everything I ever wanted. This is so pointless. And then, this dude shows up and he's like, man, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm so bored. Like, I thought this was supposed to be heaven. What the fuck? I got everything I want, but I don't want this anymore. And the guy's like, who the fuck said this was heaven, boy? It's like that. Having too much of a good thing, you're going to get bored with it. Humans in themselves biologically strive for conflict to feel as if we have purpose in a way. Like, we will create our own conflicts just so we have something to overcome, so that we have meaning.
So in other words, we'll probably end up in a giant World of Warcraft simulation.
Yeah, pretty much. There has to be conflict, otherwise people will go insane.
Oh my God, I can only imagine how bad that would be. Living your life in something that's like World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily mean people need violent conflict. Some do, depending on what tribes they hailed from, their ancestors and stuff. Like, some were just, warriors. That's how it is. But I mean, there's also conflict in creating economic structures that work, or climbing up the social ladder, or, things like that. There's different types of conflicts, and in those conflicts actually come more community in ways too. Like, if you think about World War I, all those people in Britain, after the conflict was over and all this stuff, they were really sad, because they were like, we were all so close during all that conflict. We had a community. We had tribes. We had each other because things were so crazy and hectic. So it's almost like conflict creates companionship and closeness and humanity. It's really fucked up.
Yeah,
Biology is weird. Social biology is weird.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, like, there's another thing. I mean, like, if we actually could create like an AI that's capable of literally running everything, I'm like, what's the guarantee that such an AI would be benevolent?
Oh, dude, I guarantee it would look at people and be like, man, look at you. You're freaking out over meme sauce, dude. What the fuck? Nuke.
Yeah.
It'd be Skynet, dude. We'd have Skynet.
I was gonna say show.
We'd have Terminators. That's how it would end up. Like
I was gonna think more Shodan from System Shock, but that works too.
Yeah. It's the most popular kind of reference, I guess.
Also true, but yeah, I mean, although I think we'd probably get something more out of System Shock because, especially in the second game, Shodan actually tries merging organic matter with tech. It makes these freakish monsters.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you should play System Shock too. It's awesome. It's an awesome game.
Yeah, what's the what's the name of the fucking monster? The movie monsters. John Carpenter films.
Oh,
like The Thing and stuff. Like, who did the movie monsters and all that? Like in The Fly, the second one.
Cronenberg.
Yeah, Cronenberg, dude.
Cronenberg, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like some Cronenberg ass fucking monster shit.
Yeah, like imagine Cronenberg's, but with like cybernetic bits.
Yes, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I like to sculpt things like that. I made a tentacle vagina tooth monster out of clay the other day.
Because of course you do.
I was gonna stick some wires and crazy shit coming out of it and bolts, and I like the contrast between like organic and non-organic kind of mediums. I don't know.
That's kind of cool. Well, to an extent, it's horrific to look at, but it can.
Yeah, well, I like horror things.
It's possible to have something that's horrifically beautiful.
Yeah. No, I wasn't going for beautiful. I was going for like, oh God. I've been watching too much of those like the AI conferences and stuff, so I'm like, man. I'm gonna mash up some human parts with some fucking wires and bolts and weird shit.
Now, if you really want to get wacky, there's another big sci-fi author out there named Arthur C. Clarke. He came up with the what he coined the 3 laws of motion. Let me pull them up. Laws of motion. You are slow, Google. Quit being a slow cunt.
No, you're cheating.
I can't remember them off my top of my head, okay? Shut up.
Yeah, it happens. I've been drinking, so I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Amazingly, you're pretty coherent for being drunk.
I'm like, tits. Boobies are cool.
I think it's part of you absorbing Butter's Irishness by osmosis.
I don't know, man. I can put it down. Like I've always been able to do that.
Okay, so here's the 3 laws. Number 1, when a distinguished but elderly scientist states something that is possible, he is almost certainly right. When he states something that is impossible, he is very probably wrong. 2.
Okay.
2, the only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them into the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the one a lot of people know. 3, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, there's an RPG series.
I mean, alchemy, it's chemistry. It's
well, or at least
essentially
kind of. Yeah,
you're blending different elements to create new elements in a sense.
Although they haven't figured out how to turn lead into gold.
Yeah.
Or transmute a human being.
Not yet.
Anime fans know what that is.
Yeah, I know. I saw that they were getting ready to do the human head transplant onto a cadaver body. So the person that volunteered his head to be transplanted, I guess he's a quadriplegic Chinese man or something.
Wait, so they're making an actual Frankenstein?
Yeah, they're making an actual Frankenstein, dude. Like they're trying for it next year sometime. Yeah, it was supposed to happen this year, but there's a lot more complications than they thought out. So I'm gonna guess probably in like the next 5 years they'll try it. But yeah, this guy, he's like dying anyway. Like when you're quadriplegic, a lot of your body systems, they have a hard time functioning. Obviously because of the lack of sensation, and so like your respiratory system isn't working as well, and your heart and things like that. So I mean, he's knocking on death's door really soon anyway. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna die either way. Like, let's try this. If it works, yay science. If not, I mean, fuck it, I'm going anyway.
You know, I'm just gonna wonder, are we gonna end up something like out of Frankenstein? I mean, like, because the thing with like Frankenstein is like he sewed all those corpse parts together and ended up creating a completely different being.
Yeah.
I mean, is this guy gonna be the same guy he was, or is he gonna be or are we gonna get a completely different person?
Right. There's a lot of people that are like, you're gonna create, if this does work, if for some miraculous reason this does work, I doubt that the same consciousness will be in that being. You're going to create a monster. It's going to be like straight up fucking Frankenstein. Yeah, Frankenstein's monster. Like, and then there's some people like, oh no, it'll be fine. You know, just fuck it. Like, we're gonna try it anyway. Like the surgeon, he's this Italian surgeon, and he works with like reconstructing nervous systems and putting feeling back into nerves and things like that. Like he's some crazy specialist. But yeah, he was like, fuck yes, I want to do this.
More science.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh man, dude, I mean, this is gonna be interesting either way.
I mean, it's not quite human transmutation, but
it's as close as we're gonna get anytime soon, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, something I wanted to bring up, I mean, like, when technology gets advanced enough, it's pretty much the same as magic. There's an RPG series that kind of toys with that, although I think it's a bit more on the nose. It's called Shadowrun, and it's sort of set in a cyberpunk universe, but there's also magic. Like, it's a world that has, it's a world that's got, like, elves, dwarves, and, I think, trolls in it. Even though it's set in a cyberpunk universe, and like I don't know, I mean, like I think, and I mean, like the magic is like it's sort of like rides this edge between being like super advanced technology and like actual like wizard magic and shit, because it has things like wizards and street shamans, and it's pretty cool, but it's also super weird.
That's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, there's a couple. It's mainly a tabletop series, but there's also a few PC games that were put out by Harebrained Schemes, which is based out in Seattle. So fucking yeah.
Nice. So I'm getting a little freaked out talking about all this AI stuff. Where's the Kiwi half of your podcast?
Yeah, Sam. Sam's. Well, right now Sam's dealing with a family matter, but right now he's sort of. Yeah. I don't. Let's just say that there's been a death in the family.
Oh no!
I don't want to go any further than that.
Yeah, no, that's not necessary. You should have just left it at dealing with some family stuff. He's,
Yeah. Okay, that might have been more than I'm.
Sure, you could just be like, I don't gotta explain shit to you, bitch.
Yeah, but not only that, he's
gonna be like, fuck you, you don't call me a bitch.
Yeah, also. Earlier in the year, the computer I bought for Sam crapped out, and we have not been able to scrape money together to get him a new one. Although we have managed to sort of find a workaround to be able to get him to stream.
Patreon.
Yeah, although I still need to. I'm still waiting on the views to actually make that a viable option.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. Even, I don't know. I had a larger following back in the day when I was working at the porn store and I was posting more frequently, but it seems like they were the kind of people they'd stick around, they'd read stuff, they'd get their chuckles, and that's it. And then when it came down to me being like, hey, I'm trying to publish this comic book because it seems like a lot of you are really interested. What kind of participation can I get? Pre-orders, stuff like that. It was very few people that actually were participating. So I feel like even if you don't have like a lot of people that watch you, like if they're pretty loyal to watching you, they probably come through, man.
Yeah, I mean, like
you might be surprised.
I might be. I mean, like I've sort of, like my channel started to sort of find its wings with ever since I kind of started out my Werewolf the Apocalypse series. Like the video I initially put out, that thing has got like over 3,000 views right now.
Nice.
And the subsequent vids I've been having have shown to be some of the most successful I've put out on the channel, I guess. But I kind of want to at least want to give it a little more time just to at least see if there's actually some momentum behind that. Don't want to hot shot it.
For sure, dude. Fuck, man, 3,000 views. I got like 500 views on one video that I made, and I like almost pissed myself. So I was like, oh my god, so many people seeing some stupid thing I made. Oh, man. I geek out when like one person's like, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm like, oh, someone likes me. Oh my god, what do I do? No, fuck. This is too much pressure. I gotta quit. I gotta go to see my counselor. I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. That's always a good feeling. Actually, if you want to have another good laugh, I'm gonna let me send you something. Let me send you something through Facebook. You are gonna laugh at this, Stacy. This is gonna be like maybe the best comment I've ever gotten on one of my YouTube vids.
All right,
just let's pull up the old messenger and the only problem. Probably the best comment I've ever gotten from someone reading one of my comics was, "This is so uncouth. How do you live with yourself?" Okay. And I was like, I mean, every day. I live with myself every day, and it's amazing. On top of a pile of money with many beautiful ladies.
Well, not the money part.
No, that was a
okay.
But yeah, I just
so let's see this comment. It says, I'm tempted.
Hold up. I gotta give a little context for that. The context for this was on my Black Furies vid. Now, if you guys don't know Werewolf the Apocalypse, the Black Furies, they're a tribe that is basically werewolf Amazons. And that comes with all the misandry you think it does.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. All right, so this comment says, now I'm tempted to create a Black Fury MRA type for giggles. Maybe she used to be part of one of the more traditional septs, but sometimes spent paling around with bone gnawers got her thinking about the priorities of their protection. I think a massacre of some frat boys accused of rape, only to find out that the girl lied about the entire story, would be the last straw before she fucked off from her sept to find a new pack.
I pinned that just because it was so good.
What the fuck, dude? I don't even know what I just read, to be honest.
Remember when I told you? Okay, the thing with the black.
Yeah, it's like the werewolf game where you like create like your tribes and stuff, and
the thing with the Black Furies is, I mean, like I told you, they're basically lycanthropic Amazons, but they also have this thing where they are big on protecting women and children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you play feminist werewolves?
After a kind of, sort of.
Is this like some sort of deep-seated like fantasy of yours and that you're trying to live out. You just put on like the right wing Republican stance just for fucking public. You're just like, yeah, fucking fuck feminists, they're a bunch of assholes. They go to your video game and you're like, oh man, yeah, fuck them. They're such assholes. I feel you.
You've exposed me. She's exposed me. I am a closet. I'm a closet.
You're a closet feminist.
I have a massive domination fetish. I worship strong, domineering women that just whip men. I want to be told how worthless I am.
I called it.
Yeah, you did.
I was a sex worker. I know that shit. I can see that shit.
But yeah, but to be more serious, I mean, like the Black Furies, they're just like one of like I think 12 or 13 tribes you can play as.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said there's like some sort of stoner hippie clan or some shit.
Oh
right?
yes. There's there's like the Bonars. They're like street werewolves, but they're like gangbangers and homeless people.
Homeless people, werewolves.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean homeless people? I've met so many different types of homeless people. Like, I don't, what stereotype are they going with? Like, holding up signs on the side of the freeway homeless, or like huddled around a pail of burning trash homeless? Like, that kind. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's gutter punk homeless too. Those are my favorite.
Oh yeah, definitely gutter punk too.
Those are my favorites.
They're into that shit. But yeah. Yeah, and there's even they even like have like a group that's basically the robs from the rich and gives to the poor. Yeah,
oh shit.
Yeah, the stoner hippie ones, they're the children of Guy. They're all like new age stuff. They're into sex and drugs, a lot of Wicca stuff.
I like the sex and drugs part.
And the hippie shit. Of course you would. Then of course you got the Fianna, which are.
Oh, you would too. You fucking prune. Whatever.
No. I'm Fianna, and they are my favorite because they're the Celtic werewolves.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so am I gonna get like in trouble because this is like some sort of like obscure right wing podcast bullshit?
No, it's not.
Am I your affirmative action fucking hire here to come on your podcast?
I have palled around with Diente on this podcast, and he's not super right wing, but he's also not super left wing, kind of more in the middle. But no, I mean, like I don't care. I just want to have a good time on. This is the fun podcast.
I'm fucking with you, dude.
It's a fun time podcast. It just happens to be hosted by two right wingers.
Oh man, it just so happens, dude.
Yeah, if anything, I'm more.
We're
like
not biased.
I am more like the Dick Show, if anything. That's what my show is. It's all about jokes and nerd shit.
Swinging dicks everywhere.
Exactly. You want, as Dick says on his podcast every time he opens it, you want dick, you need dick, you have dick right in your ear.
Well, I mean, that all sounds great.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
You gotta seriously check out the Dick Show. It is like my new favorite podcast.
I think I saw something on there.
Oh yes, the breakfast is.
Yeah, the breakfast thing. Yeah. Breakfast is kind of bullshit. I watched a couple other clips of some things that they said, and I was like, I mean, some of that shit's debatable, but you know.
I don't know. It's actually kind of got me thinking. I mean, like, do you really need to eat breakfast?
If you're hungry, fuck yeah. If you have a soul, then yeah. I mean, waffles are the shit, dude.
Oh yeah, true. And actually, after the night I spent at you and Butter's place, I needed breakfast.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Breakfast is amazing. Like, I don't care if you don't really need breakfast foods, but they're pretty fucking delicious. Like back in the day, I'd get really fucking baked, and my most favorite thing ever was a big bowl of Cap'n Crunch peanut butter cereal. Or Cookie Crisp.
But yeah, breakfast.
That shit's still dang though.
I will admit this. Breakfast tastes best after you've been stoned.
Yeah, an American breakfast is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, we made.
I'm just saying.
Yes, America. We made the best. We make the best of everything.
Yeah,
Although,
pretty much.
Although what's interesting though is that I think I remember hearing that breakfast was actually invented by like a single guy, and it's like a recent invention, like just the idea of breakfast.
Oh well, good on him, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for waffles or whatever.
Although we ended up getting the big breakfast lobby.
Yeah. With any good idea, some asshole is going to be like, hey, you know what? I can make a lot of money off of that. Let me go talk to these government people.
It's like there's a serial Illuminati or something.
Illuminati? It's fucking, you just see all the breakfast fucking cereal people all in like cloaks and shit in some dark room.
No one's better. Imagine all the cereal mascots like meeting in one of their dark and secret meeting places, and they're having these strange quasi-satanic rituals and all just to ensure the dominance of breakfast.
This fucking tricks rabbit and just runs up, pulls the heart out of some fucking child, and he's all like, haha, tricked you, bitch, call him on. And the Tony the Tiger's like, wow, yeah, takes a bite out of the heart, and he's just like, yeah, it's great. Like,
you think Pizzagate was bad? It has nothing on Breakfastgate.
Seriously, Breakfastgate. Hashtag Breakfastgate.
This shit.
Fucking cereal mascots killing children for their Illuminati rituals.
Yes, and they're all in on it. The Keebler elves. No, wait, not the Keebler elves are cookies. No, I mean like the Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and Toucan Sam, and Sonny from the Cocoa Box. And
yeah, you know how Snap, Crackle, Pop got their name was by crunching on children's bones, man.
Yeah,
that's how that happened.
And of course, you have the big three that show up every Halloween.
Oh, dude. Yes, I love Count Chocula, dude.
Yeah, I've actually eaten all three of them this month, and okay, I told Kurt this, but because he told me this already. Kurt told me that Frankenberry fucking sucks. He was fucking right. Yeah,
Frankenberry, it's not that good. It sucks.
Yeah,
I like the mascot.
If you're gonna rank them, Count Chocula, Booberry, and Frankenberry dead last.
I don't know. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had him, but I think I might put Frankenberry above Booberry.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I remember.
Like I say, it's been a while, but yeah, definitely Count Chocula, number one.
Yeah, at least that tastes like something.
Yeah, it tastes like fucking magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Americans made the best breakfast stuff, and if it was someone else, well, we're appropriating it now because that's what we do best. Yay, America!
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the French like to brag about how their food is awesome, but I mean, come on, you're gonna tell me like, what did French people eat for breakfast?
No, French food is pretty fucking dank, dude. Croissant and brie and fruits. And I don't know, all the cheeses and stuff. White people like cheese, dude. Don't tell me you don't like cheese.
I do like cheese.
Don't tell me you like cheese on your breakfast stuff too, like eggs and all that shit. Yeah.
Actually, I actually prefer a little Tabasco on my eggs.
Yeah. I don't know, Tabasco. I like Cholula better.
And of course, I like to down it with a nice dark cup of coffee.
I can't drink coffee. Fresh and ground up?
Yup.
In bean form? Boiled till scalding?
Exactly.
Man, you're a sick fuck.
You say this like you're surprised.
Is that where Sam went? You motherfucker. Oh my god.
I ground Sam up and made him into coffee.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a Republican. That's what's wrong with me.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not surprised anymore. Moving on. Oh, fuck. I actually got to get going here pretty soon.
That's all right by me. We've been recording for like over an hour. This is a good spot to stop. So, guys, thank you for stopping by and listening to all our antics.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. You can find me and my boyfriend's artwork and like coming out comic book and all this shit about working in the porn store and stuff at Butterface Creations on Facebook or Instagram.
I will
and
link all of them.
All that shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can look at some cool shit.
Also tell him that his song Play Hard has been our official theme song.
Oh, yeah. That's my man shit. He's sexy.
Yeah, but also if you can get their album, it's free, guys.
Oh yeah, hey, hold on. I'm gonna have him plug this last studio album that they recorded. Hey babe,
Hey.
where can the good people download your studio album that you just recorded for free? Because free is a good fucking word. Starts with the letter F, same as fucking, and free. Because that shit is free. So where can they find that?
Unusualsubjects.bandcamp.com.
Get that shit for free.
All right, we'll call it good.